no point in editing anything. No point. And I was saying in the previous video, and I don't know if it got it through, is that my psychological disposition on this whole thing is that none of this is real. My belief is that I'm in a cell in hell, or at the very least I'm on Earth, but I'm demon possessed. And I sung that Todd Rundgren song, Tiny Demons. It's my belief to some degree that the angels watch everybody, because they got absolute perception. All angels do. And if they want to see people in hell, they can see people in hell. If they want to see people on earth, they can see people on earth. They're everywhere. And God could be everywhere, doesn't choose to be. I mean, the definition of hell is that you're not being watched by God. That you're kind of forsaken. So, I don't know. I can't answer that. If God is still watching me, or is still being involved with me. So it's questionable. I don't know where the words that come out of my mouth come from. If it's from a cognitive part of my brain, or if it's being fed into me by a demon, if it's being fed into me by the Holy Spirit, if it's being fed into me, I don't know. And for me, it's just fun. And you can take it or leave it, or for me, it's the purpose for it is at best inspiration. All I want to be in the afterlife is a muse. I just want to muse. I want to be that thing that inspires musicians to create music, but doesn't take any credit for it. Just loves the simple fact that somebody is going to have a lifetime of love of doing their art, and that I might have helped them on that path. But the worst thing that can ever happen to me is for me to attach my ego to whatever it is that they're doing, because I know I have that problem. So, if there was something to fear with me, and that would be to attach my ego to anything. So for me, having a subscriptionship that's above what Hughes Research Lab has, which my brother works for, is great. Yeah, I'm above Hughes Research Lab. I don't care to have 2 million viewership. To me, I see that as a security risk. I would have to be making enough money to pay off bodyguards. You just don't want it. There are musicians, there are people who are famous that know you don't go there. You don't want fame. Fortune would be nice, but then even that's a problem in itself. It carries with it a certain amount of security problems, and it ruins relationships like the motherfucker. You become a control freak. You micromanage your friends. Your friends evaluate you based on how much money you give them. You become an ATM machine. Your friends fail to empathize with you. If they're empathizing with you, they may have sacrificed a lot to tell you that, and for you to believe it. It's very difficult to find trust when you're famous. So, do the research. You'll find out. I haven't experienced it. I haven't been that famous to experience it, but I know what it involves, and I know how to. I think I would know how to deal with it, but I don't want it. Why am I doing this on YouTube? Is because I feel like I'm in hell. I'm in a private cell or something. I never really have deep interaction with anybody. Even my own parents. I'm getting zero deep interaction. For me, it's to the point to where I'm just crying to have some kind of interaction, and to even express and be reciprocated for it. That's just how bad it is, and it's like nobody cares. Nobody cares whatever it is I have to say. And when I do get people that say they care and they like my stuff and stuff, it sounds to me like a demon who's mocking me, who's giving me false reciprocation. And I'll get demons that will claim that Jesus is the Christ, and what they're really doing is they're mocking me. They're saying to me, see, I can be a Christian. All I have to do is recite these lines. I don't have to actually have a brain. Now, if you said that stuff and you were intent on converting people, it's not going to work that way. You have to have a deeper relationship with people to get them converted, or to even think that they're going to be Christian. I don't know if I can. I'm not going to say I'm not Christian. I'm not going to say that I'm against Jesus or any of that kind of stuff. You know, what the heck are you trying to pull on me? You know, I know that stuff's all real. The question is that, you know, it's really, is it up to me to determine whether or not I have salvation? I don't. You can't. Nobody can determine that. They can be assured of it, but they can't know for sure. Can't know for certain. Just as you can't prove to people that Jesus is what that you think because you believe Jesus is the Christ, you can't prove it to anybody. You have to prove it to yourself. And I just know it. I know it's got to be true. But now that I'm experiencing all this crap with the demons and Satan really getting into all my shit, I know it's the case. It's just like it's a no-brainer at this point. And now it's all I get are these demons or these people that keep saying the same shit. That it's like they're trying to get me to say the words, you know. And I'm just like, no, I don't actually believe what you're saying. You can say it 1,000,000 times, and I'll never believe that. And but you see, they're programmed to tell you it, and they want you to recite it. They want you. They believe what I've heard Trump's lawyers believe about Trump is that if you keep saying something enough, eventually people will believe it. And to Trump, that's truth. He doesn't believe in truth, or he doesn't believe in truth. He believes that if you keep saying something enough, people will believe it. And so I just don't respond to all the people and all the people that just will keep saying to me these things like, oh, you can't believe there is a God or anything. The thing is that Satan has demons who do this all day long. This is their job 24/7, is to try to convince people that there isn't a God, that there was no grand creator that created all of this. And you may think these people are real people, but they're not. They look like your friends, but they're not your friends. They're your friends that have become demon-possessed. And over time, they've developed into the body of your friends. And then you come to the realization you don't know these people. And you're right, you don't know these people. They're not your friends anymore. They are demon-consumed friends. And I have the same demons consuming me. And they alter everything. They have the capacity to alter everything. Beyond your brain, they have the capacity to make other people say things to you. They have the capacity to change reality. And there's no telling, it could be that I'm in a cell in hell where President Trump got voted in as president. And that's just a clue to me that, yes, this can't be Earth. This has got to be hell. Or this has got to be some other, some area of the metaphysical where things like this should never happen. And then I get the same old people that were like, oh, you think Trump's and, Hitler, and I'm thinking, you're not real, you're not a human, you're a demon. Because only demons would say stuff like that. See, demons don't have any deep intellectual basis for anything. All they have is it's basically like they prepared a script for some sort of TV show where they only have to say about 20 lines, and that's pretty much their entire job, is just to keep repeating the lines. It's not about backing it up with any kind of truth or support. It doesn't matter. They figured out that if they can keep repeating to somebody enough, they'll eventually say it. And that's all they need. They just need you to say it. They don't need you to really believe it. They need you to say it. And that's the reason why they keep getting you to think, try to be on their side. Because somehow you think you're going to have a deep relationship with them, and you're not. Because you're in the same sort of predicament I'm in, where I can't get anybody to agree with me on anything. You know, it's like, if you only would come over and say what we're saying, we would give you the deep relationship that you desire. And I'm like, I can be better friends with myself than anybody in this world, you know. And so that's kind of what that's my disposition, is that worst case scenario, I end up just forming multiple personalities, and I become my own little commune in hell. So, psychological disposition, evacuated from body, there it is. There it is. And so now you can understand what it is, how a person could do what I'm doing now, and why they were doing it, and how would you ever be able to keep me from doing it? Satan's got that question mark on his mind. He's like, you're not going to get anywhere with it, because he's already decided he's not going to let you get anywhere with it, so what's the point, you know? But Satan's big job is to try to convince me that I am in hell. And I'm not certain of it. I just know that the things that are going on in the environment around me just don't make any sense. The other thing on top of that is that, but I got all these things from the Bible that said that, you know, even Jesus was getting this kind of crap. It just wasn't going on inside of him. It was going on outside of him. It was going on in his friends and the apostles. They were getting taken over by these guys. So I'm weak just like the apostles were weak, you know. People make so much movies like the was it The Exorcist and all that stuff about demon possession, as if it was something humans could actually control. Bullshit. You can't control this. You can't find some Catholic priest that'll take a cross and drive the demons out of somebody. No, you have to make the demons sick of you. You know. And the way that Jesus says to do that, pretty much, it sounds like, is basically to avoid doing anything that makes you feel good. You would have to practically hate your life on this here to have your life out, you know, in heaven. You would have to deny all the things that make you feel good. You would have to be poor of spirit, because the demons are not going to want to hang around you if you're going to not pleasure yourself. Because to some degree, I think the idea is that the demons experience some of the pleasure that you would experience when you do something that's bad. That's the reason why the perversity of stuff is so joyous to you, is because the demon is in your body driving you to do it. And they're getting enjoyment from it. That's the reason why they're there. But if you deny the stuff, then they're not going to get much enjoyment. They're going to be thinking to themselves, I would rather be in that guy's soul than be in your soul, experiencing it. Because that guy is going to at least go out and get drunk and have some sex with some women. And you're going nowhere. You're going nowhere fun. And it's even worse whenever you start praising God. Because then they're like, oh, we hear this stuff all the time. Would you just shut up? That's what they think. And that's how it works. That's the way. That's the pathway to spiritual segregation. Is to denying it, trying to deny yourself, and then trying to sing spiritual songs. The thing is that I'm kind of borderline diabetic. I'm kind of borderline everything, and I'm walking a thin line between reality and perversity, and I don't know which side of it I'm going to end up on. Probably not for the better or any, but you can have hope. Always have hope. Don't throw hope out the window. No point in that. No point in committing suicide. That's the easy way out. The easy way out is committing suicide. The hard way out is just trying to find something to live for, even if it's something as stupid as eating, drinking, being merry, making videos about music you used to love, talking BS about all kinds of crap, and whatever it is that takes your mind off of just sitting around doing absolutely nothing productive, nothing that's going to inform anybody, nothing that's going to be informative, nothing that's going to keep your mouth talking so that you can listen to yourself, that makes you feel like there are people reciprocating the words. Whenever I'm talking out loud and I'm talking on this, it's almost like I'm having a conversation with myself. So people say you're talking to yourself, and I'm like, what's wrong with that? I'm expressing myself, and it wouldn't even matter if I had somebody to talk to. And I was born with aphasia, and aphasia makes it very difficult for me to have conversations with people. So even if I had a talk show guest, I would not be able to have a proper two-way interaction with them, because I have a problem that gets in the way of that. So I was made to do this. I eat documentaries. I love eating up documentaries, watching documentaries. I don't like any sort of documentary. The documentaries I shoot for are underdog documentaries about people that I don't know anything about. Usually the topics is musicians, musical documentaries, like, talking about the Wrecking Crew. And when I get my little dopamine hits that aren't dopamine from porn, is when I get that realization that Glenn Campbell and Leon Russell were a part of a part of the Wrecking Crew, and there were guys in that band I didn't know who were also a part of that group, working their asses off even before they had a solo career. Leon Russell is who Elton John looks up to. Elton John says one of the most awkward periods in his life is when he came to Leon Russell's door and got to see Leon Russell naked. I don't think he was thinking about jumping on Leon Russell's bones and having sex with him. I think it was an awkward experience, because I remember him saying that, and but they became best of friends, and for them that was for Elton, that was a high point of his career, was getting to know Leon Russell. And if you listen to Leon Russell and then you listen to Elton John, you come to understand the reason why Elton John sounds the way he sounds is because Leon Russell writes music that's pretty much the same as what Elton writes. He's learned a lot from the way Leon writes music, Elton didn't write the lyrics. The lyrics came from another guy, and the guy wasn't even gay, you know. And so Elton gets a lot of fun out of being able to sing rock and roll tunes from a perspective of a heterosexual as a homosexual, but he was toying with the idea of being bisexual, and it didn't work out for him. He knows he's homosexual, and but he loves the energy and the aggression and, you know, the balls that goes in to these songs that his crony wrote these lyrics that he was writing music for. And I'll let you know, Elton, I cried for an hour and it'll bring me to tears even now if I think about it. When in the film you're confronting your father, your blood relative father, and he wouldn't even acknowledge you. And you know, I'm starting to cry because it just brings back that idea that you tried so hard to get him to recognize you as being a real person, as being your son. I mean, you being his son, and him not even giving you that opportunity. You know, kind of, it was like he was outside of being a father. Like he was being a father to other children, but his relationship with you was that you were not his. You know, and there are people. That's a kind of that's an apathetic, unempathetic way of thinking about people, and that is that the failure to identify with others. There are people that have the failure to identify that their leg is their own leg, and end up amputating their leg because they go to sleep every night thinking somebody else's leg is in the bed with them. But can you imagine having a parent who doesn't see you as their children, even though they know that you're their children? They can't identify with you, and as a result, they don't see you as being like them. And I think that's exactly what was going on with Elton John. And if he hears that, it'd probably make him cry even more. I'm sorry I got you there, but it drives me to tears to think about that somebody could interact with somebody and then not reciprocate what was needed there. Not even being able to even see what was needed there. Not being able to identify that there was one across the table that would have benefited so much from having the thoughts in their head that they would expect in the other. So, and this is a cell phone call for somebody that I don't know, because I never pick up these. I don't even know how to pick up the phone. No point in answering it. It's just an interruption. It's just some demon calling on the phone. That's what it is. It's a demon trying to get me distracted. So I'm going to cut this video here.